Hey everyone, so if you're watching this video, you may or may not be a hypnotist. However, certainly you have an interest on the matter. Hypnosis is something that has captured your attention, and that's why you are here watching this. Now, what is hypnosis? Well, there are many different opinions and attempted definitions of what hypnosis is. The point is, there is not a common agreement on a single definition. So, here, I'm going to give you my understanding and my definition, and hopefully, this will enrich on how you see or how you realize what hypnosis is. So, for me, hypnosis is about ways of engaging the human experience within a culturally conditioned understanding of what this may be. Now, that's a mouthful. So let me say it again. It's about ways of engaging the human experience within a culturally conditioned understanding of what this may be. Okay, so let me break it down because this can sound a bit too general, too nebulous, because there is nothing that may seem familiar to what hypnosis is, depending from where you come from. Okay? So first of all, it's like about ways. It's about ways because um, there are many different styles of doing hypnosis, of doing hypnotic work, and they look vastly different. And there are also very different applications in diverse areas. Okay, and this is both from the side of the hypnotist, if you're a hypnotist, but also it's from the side of the person who may be uh, participating as someone receiving the experience. So, for example, if you are in terms of applications, right, we have these very different realms of therapy and hypnotherapy and stage hypnosis on the other. And the stereotypical images we have about them are very, very different. In one, you have a person relaxed on a chair, working with someone, although it's not like that in reality, but that's the stereotypical image. And on the other hand, on stage hypnosis, we have people doing ridiculous things on stage, and it looks very, very surreal. And also, if you are a bit trained in hypnosis, you also know there are different styles on how we do it. In terms, it can be very direct and authoritative sometimes, and other times it can be very permissive and indirect and much softer. So, yeah, it's not one way, it's about many different ways. We engage the human experience. Now, engaging the human experience, this is also very generic, okay? Because there are actually many more ways that in our culture, in the whole world actually, as humans, we engage our experience from art, like movies, books, uh, music, art in general, even marketing engages our experience, and even an engaging conversation with friends. So the question is, would we call these things hypnosis? Well, you see, sometimes when people try to explain hypnosis to other people and try to say in simple terms what it is, they say, oh, it's like getting absorbed in a book, getting a bit absorbed in a movie you may like. So, or driving down the road. These are very common examples, and maybe you've heard them too. So the thing is that when we try to explain what hypnosis is to other people through examples, we make reference to all the other things that have very similar elements, but are not typically considered hypnosis, because these are also ways of engaging the human experience, right? There are other ways. And yeah, so that's also the other thing. Would we call a conversation hypnosis? No, we wouldn't typically. Would we call it an engaging conversation hypnosis? Typically not, but some people may call it hypnotic, even though they wouldn't call it hypnosis. That's a separation there. If you want to go down more on that, let me know. And that's why where the last part goes, okay? Within culturally conditioned ways of what this may be. Because there are so many different ways that we engage the human experience, and whether we consider something hypnosis or not in engaging our experience, it's just how we have been culturally trained, educated, conditioned to frame things in different boxes. So someone may say, oh, like a conversation is not hypnosis, but an engaging conversation is not hypnosis. Hypnosis is something different. For a trained hypnotist, a conversation can be hypnotic even when there is no intention for it to be hypnotic or hypnosis. And that's the fine point there. Okay. And this brings me to another component of what are some of these culturally conditioned ways we have of recognizing something as hypnosis. So one thing is like the medium. If we use verbal language or body language versus if there is written words or if there is music or if there is things moving on a screen like a movie. So it's the how we frame it culturally. Is the movies, it's the music piece, is it a book, or it's hypnosis? But also we frame it in terms of the effects we are getting. So we have been conditioned to frame hypnosis, to recognize something as hypnosis when the effects we get out of this process are very different from our expectations of what may happen in everyday reality. Okay? And these are typically called hypnotic effects. So then we say it's hypnosis, but before that, we say, oh, it's just a conversation sometimes. Or, yeah, yet any trained and insightful hypnotist would tell you that hypnosis starts actually from the moment two people meet and start interacting between each other. That starts forming the basis of the hypnotic interaction, even if they haven't started doing anything related to hypnosis yet. And there is this build-up that leads to this effect. So the question is then, is everything hypnosis or is it just the result? Okay. So if we shift our focus away from the result, that it has to be these concrete effects like time distortion, amnesia, hallucinations, or solve some issue in a therapeutic way, then every conversation, and that's where marketing fits in, that marketing can be actually very hypnotic in the way it uses language and communication, even though there are not specific effects we consider hypnotic other than clicking the button to buy or having the desire to buy something. So, yeah. So, with all this in place, I hope the definition I gave, my understanding at least, makes more sense to you that basically it's about a set of ways of engaging the human experience within a culturally conditioned understanding of what this may be. Because if our understanding was different, we may even call music hypnosis, or we may completely remove the notion of hypnosis at all and just have another framework for all these experiences that put us in the moment, right? Because these are very natural experiences. And then comes the question, right? Should we care about hypnosis? Because this is something that happens as people get trained in hypnosis. They typically start from a very boxed idea of what hypnosis is, that, swinging pendulums, you're getting sleepy, you're getting tired. And the more they learn, the more flexible they become in recognizing all these finer nuances that exist in everyday conversation, in everyday communication, in other fields of human experiences like music and literature and art. And then you reach a point where, everything is hypnosis. So if everything can be hypnosis, then actually hypnosis isn't really anything at all. Like hypnosis isn't. So what is hypnosis? Hypnosis isn't. Okay. So should we care about it if it can become so generic and so stretched and so distorted. I think we should care about it because it is a cultural framework that expresses about how we, as humans, all of us, can actually affect the way we experience our reality and how our reality actually is naturally affected in everyday life, even without us doing anything, just by living and breathing and eating and sleeping. Okay? So it's important to appreciate that, to appreciate the power of that, the power, the personal power it gives us when we utilize that, both for ourselves and also when interacting with other people in an ethical and playful manner with a desire to make things better and have like awesome experiences. And at the same time, we shouldn't care about it too much because when we care about it too much, we start going into these binaries. This is hypnosis, and this isn't hypnosis. And when someone is hypnosis, we have to be seeing this in the EEG, in the electroencephalogram, or in the MRI, or is there a unique state of hypnosis called trance, and all these things? It doesn't matter for me personally. So I think it's important to care what happens if we want to study these things, right, in the human brain, in the human body, when people engage in experiences. But just studying these things just to say, oh, this is hypnosis and this isn't, it's kind of pointless. So it shouldn't matter too much, in my opinion. What is hypnosis? What isn't hypnosis? What should matter is the ways we have of engaging the human experience, our own experience, the experience of others, and in moving our mind in different directions. So that's it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you want me to make more like that, just let me know by liking or dropping a comment below. Thank you. Bye.